So, as you know, whenever we have new hosts on, I always like to ask them how they found Queer as Folk and what Queer as Folk means to them. So, go ahead, tell us your story.
Yeah, I found Queer as Folk on, it was the GIFs on Tumblr. A lot of people find shows like this, and I was, one of them. And I think, 10 minutes into the pilot, I was sold.
Just me going to YouTube and finding a clip of Queer as Folk, this whole world just opened up and I was just completely blown away by it. I think learning throughout those characters kind of made me okay with being me. That's kind of what Queer as Folk means to me. It made me who I am.
It was the first time that I really encountered characters that I felt represented me, that up until then I hadn't really seen. It came at a very important time in my life when I was really figuring out my sexual identity. Queer as Folk was a really, really important part of that. I will always have a lot of love for it in my heart.
So it's kind of interesting to have found it at a certain point where I was inching into adulthood and sort of experiencing the world for the first time, and now here I am, somewhat older and somewhat wiser, on the other side of heartache and experience, and I honestly feel like it was a huge part of my personal evolution.
Okay, well, I actually found Queer as Folk by accident on television. So I ran out and bought season 1 on DVD immediately, watched the entire thing, and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
I had a friend, and she told me many times, you have to watch the show, you have to watch the show. And I sort of kept that at the back of my mind. And I took a human sexuality class in university, and on the 10th page of the textbook was Queer as Folk mentioned again. And it was sort of the show that kind of seemed to welcome people in and say, you'll be okay. It just feels like family.
I have a lot of friends who are gay, and when I started watching the show, it was a way of understanding a little bit more about their culture and what they go through. There were a lot of pieces in their lives that I saw reflected in the show. So,
the 2000s and the representations we had where they were the joke character. And so for me, it meant a lot to see people who had different sexual identities on TV, and it was treated as if they were normal, because, they are. Probably in a lot of ways changed my life.
I was in middle school. I think it might have been 2003. This video store near me that had a pretty good gay and lesbian section, and I saw there that they had this show that people had been talking about, and so I rented it and got hooked pretty fast.
I actually started watching in the summer right after I graduated from college. It was kind of, a rough time. Something about the show just really spoke to me. See all of these characters just kind of growing into their own.
The reason I first got into the show was just something that my wife brought up, that she's like, oh, you need to check this out. And she just played it, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then I find out it's about gay life, gay people. By the time I even found that out, I was already hooked on the show because it's just a well-written, good show.
I started watching Queer as Folk when I was 14. So the year was 2006, which is almost 10 years ago. I didn't tell anyone that I was obsessed with the show until I met another girl in 11th grade who watched it. And then I went to college and I showed it to everyone. I made them watch it with me.
This is a show that you can sort of come back to, and it's like coming back together with an old group of friends. I think it means something different than when I initially discovered it. Now I think it also means surviving. Surviving for yourself is enough, which is a lovely lesson that I learned from Ted.
Right, it's an integral part of my journey of self-acceptance. It'll really stay with me for the rest of my life. I think there's nothing quite like it. I don't think there's ever been a show that's made me actually feel proud about myself, for making it this far.
I started the show a year ago. I learned so much, and I keep learning every day. I realized that there's a whole world of Star 9, and I will always be thankful for letting me see something I didn't manage to see myself before I started the show.
When I think of Queer as Folk, though, I always think of Vic's line from the season 3 finale of he says, "We will survive this too." Sort of no matter what happens to us, no matter how much we're bashed, we're going to survive this moment, and we're going to be better. That resonates.
My mom rented the first season of Queer as Folk, and then I watched, I think, all seasons in about a month. Really enjoyed it. I would completely watch it on my own, and then completely forgot about it until 2 years ago, I think. I've been on Tumblr blogging about it ever since.
That's really what Queer as Folk is. It's a feeling. It's where I go when I need a reminder that no matter how bad things get, you can still come out the other side stronger than before. It's knowing that I can forge my own path in life, and it's not just okay to make my own happiness a priority. It's my responsibility to myself. It's family. It's the kind of family that you build on your own. It's hope and it's inspiration on days when I feel the world, both the one I live in and the one that lives in me, is just covered in dark clouds. It's knowing that making mistakes doesn't make me a bad person, and knowing that it's okay that I don't have everything figured out right now. It's about going out and finding your own joy and surrounding yourself with the people and the things that you love. It's the kick in the butt that I need when I get complacent, because the life that I want isn't just going to be handed to me. I need to go out and put myself out there and take risks and do things that scare me. But as they say, if you believe in something strongly enough, you have to be willing to sacrifice everything. And since by way of this show, I have made some of my very closest friends who genuinely do feel like family to me, I know that I'm going to have so many people right there by my side. And I have a feeling that family is only going to continue to grow. Well, that's enough rambling from me. Let's get on with the show.